Hello, everyone. This is Dale Howard, the Director of Education for Progility. It is my pleasure to welcome you to our Progility On Demand webinar series on tips and tricks for using Microsoft Project more effectively. In this set of tips and tricks, we will show you how to view the nearly critical path. In Microsoft Project, the critical path consists of the series of tasks that cannot slip without impacting the final finish date of the project. Each critical task has a total slack value of 0 days. Nearly critical tasks, on the other hand, have a total slack value greater than 0 days, but they could impact the final finish date of the project if they slip more than their total slack amount. For example, suppose a task has 1 day of total slack, but it slips by 2 days. In that scenario, the finish date of the project would slip by 1 day as a consequence. Before we display the critical path in our project, let's go ahead and take a look at the schedule table so that we can see the total slack column. I'll go ahead and drag this column over to the left side of the table to make it a little bit easier to see. So we can see in the first section of the project there's a few tasks that have a total slack value of 1 day. In the next section there's a few tasks that have a total slack value of 0 days. And in the next section, there's another series of tasks that have a total slack value of 26 days, and a few others that have a total slack value of 0 days. All right, so let's go ahead and first display the true critical path. I'll click the Format tab to display the Format ribbon, and I'll select the Critical Tasks checkbox. Every Gantt bar formatted in red is a true critical task, and we can see that each of these does have a total slack value of 0 days. Next, let's see how to display the nearly critical tasks in the schedule. Before you do that, however, you need to decide how close does a task need to be before you would consider it to be a nearly critical task. In my case, because I have a few tasks that have a 1 day total slack value, and the schedule is pretty short, I'll say that if a task is within 1 day of being on the critical path, it is a nearly critical task. So to display nearly critical tasks, click the File tab, then click the Options tab in the Backstage. In the Project Options dialog, click the Advanced tab and scroll all the way down to the bottom of the dialog. At the bottom, you'll see an option called Tasks are critical if slack is less than or equal to 0 days. And that is the default definition of a critical task. In our case, we want to say it's up to 1 day of total slack, so set the value to 1 day and click the OK button. Now we can see every task Gantt bar formatted in red represents a task that is either on the true critical path or is a nearly critical task as well. In our second set of tips and tricks, we will show you how to cancel an unneeded task. So this is a project that is currently in flight. It has a baseline saved, and progress has been entered in the project up through March the 24th. Executive leadership just made a decision to cancel task number 22, provide end user support. This will be done to save money in the project and also to finish the project earlier. They have decided that we'll provide end user support through another manner. So what I need to do is to cancel task number 22. Before we cancel the task, however, I'm going to apply a custom table I created called the All Variants table. This table includes all 5 of the main task variance columns: start variance, finish variance, duration variance, work variance, and cost variance. You can see currently that there is 80 hours of work variance and there's $3,360 of cost variance. So this project is going over budget on both work and cost. Now, if you have Microsoft Project Professional, the easy way to cancel a task is to do the following. Select the name of the task, and in the task ribbon, click the Inactivate button. What Microsoft Project will do, let me move my mouse pointer out of here so you can see it a little better. Microsoft Project will cancel the task completely. It will display the strike-through font with the gray font formatting color. The Gantt bar on the right shows the hollow Gantt bar symbol, and the link line between task 22 and 23 is canceled, and now task 23 lines up with the end of task number 21. So if you have the professional version of Microsoft Project, that is how you cancel a task. Let me click Undo. If you have the standard version of Microsoft Project, you need to use a process to cancel a task. Now, this process involves first setting the duration to 0 days. So let me go ahead and insert the duration column here temporarily. So what you have to do is initially set the duration to 0 days for the canceled task. Now, what that will do, it'll cancel all of the work, all of the cost. You can see the task is effectively canceled. The bad thing, though, is by setting the duration to 0 days, the symbol in the Gantt chart is the black diamond indicating a milestone. But folks, this is not a milestone. So I recommend you do this as the second step. Float your mouse pointer anywhere over the Gantt bar symbol for the canceled task and do a double click. Then in the Format bar dialog, click the shape, pick list, and select the symbol you want to use for a canceled task. I personally like to use the solid circle. And then optionally change the color of that symbol to something else. I like to make it stand out, so I'll make it a green symbol. And there we go. And if I click anywhere outside it, you can see now that is not a milestone. That is a canceled task. The next thing I recommend you do in this process is to select the row header for the canceled task, and then in the font section of the task ribbon, click the Font Dialog Launcher button. That's that little arrow in the lower right corner of the section, and then select the strike-through font formatting and set the color to a dark gray, similar to the way we saw it when using Microsoft Project Professional. Let me click outside that, and you can see now that looks like a canceled task. And then an optional final step in the process is to double-click the canceled task, go to the Notes page, and add a note explaining why the task was canceled, and we'll say canceled by executive leadership to finish the project early and save on costs. There we go. So those are the 2 different methods for canceling an unneeded task. This is what you do when the project is in flight and the project has already been baselined. Has this webinar generated interest in our services and solutions? If so, please contact Sarah Howard using the contact information shown on this slide. Also, don't forget to visit our website and our blog page as well. Thanks for watching our on-demand webinar today.